All right, we're back. Episode 2 of Podus Operandi. Blair, Steve, and Mitch. And this episode's theme is 411. Because why not? 411 nostalgia's riding high. We've got merch. 411 merch is back. It's been like a 4 or 5 year hiatus since we had any sort of merch. And yeah, there's a 411 website. You can buy merch. And I just feel like 411's come up in conversation all the time, especially if I have any old merch on. People seem to really love to wax nostalgic about 411 and wish it would come back or something like that. So to bring back some nostalgia, we're going to talk about our favorite segments from 411s and the first 411 we ever saw and who we'd like to see if 411 ever made a comeback. How you guys doing, by the way?
Yeah, so we were saying like 411 was like so many people's intro into skate videos.
Yeah, it became that for sure in the 90s. Became everyone's. All of a sudden it was there was a generation where all their first videos were 411s.
Yeah, like you're picking up a board and you're like, oh, well, this video is $30 or whatever, but 411's 13.
Yeah, like I was saying, when issue 1 came out, the guys at the shop that I was at were like definitely pushing it. Like, dude, like you should, this is worth the money. You should check this out. Because the first issue was like an hour long, and it's probably because I was at Pacific Drive and Sal always hung out there, so that's probably where they were like backing it. Like, was that the issue where he had the pro model shoes around his neck too?
I want to say it was, and that was so amazing.
You could honestly make a compilation of all the grapevines because there weren't that many, right? He only did it for maybe like a handful of issues.
How you guys doing there? I'm here to let you know what's up, so I'm gonna let you know what's up. Hello there! Welcome to another edition of The Grapevine. Yes, and today in The Grapevine we must talk about something very important in the skate world. The new Salvador Lucas Barbier skate shoe by Anthony's. The Grapevine. The Grapevine is back, coming to you live from lovely Pacific Beach. I'm afraid I gotta start this out with some tragic news of...
He did it, and I think Lance Mountain did a few of them, and then it was like, stuff was, I guess, happening. It was
it was so dated by the time the issue
But if you
out.
took Sal's grapevines and like made a compilation, they're so funny. They're hilarious. Steve, what was the first 411 you saw?
Oh, definitely one. I remember getting it, and it was me and a friend of mine, and then some kid who we knew. We kind of didn't like the kid, but he would tag along with us, and we all chipped in because we must have been, I don't know, 15, 16, whatever, 15 years old, and like, okay, might have even been younger than that, might have been like 14, but we didn't have enough money, so we all chipped in to get it. So 3 of us chipped in for a $9.99 VHS tape. And I remember that. And then it was like, well, where are we going to watch it now? Because we had to split it up, and the one kid didn't live by us, and it was a nightmare. But yeah, 411 number 1, and it was, first of many. Awesome. It was like a game changer. It's like, oh my God, it's a video magazine. Like you can, instead of looking at pictures, there's clips of this, because pretty crazy. Like it's a simple concept, but there was nothing like that at the time.
Yeah, and what's funny is like in like the early 2000s, whenever website content was everyone started to do website content, everyone just copied the 411 like roadmap. It was like a day in the life. Everyone had a day in the life on their website, and like shop checkout, spot check, like contest coverage. It's like, this is
skate house roomies
thing. Yeah, exactly. It's like, every website is just doing the 411's formula.
Yeah.
So yeah, they were way ahead of their time.
Definitely, and it was like must-see TV,
Blair, yours was number 1 too?
Yeah, I remember number 1 with that Jeremy Ray cover, and I mean now I'm trying to remember what all the features were, but I remember it had. I feel like there was contest coverage and Jeremy Ray obviously had a profile in the first one, right?
Yeah, definitely. That I remember.
Because he had the intro, that super long kickflip, like curb cut over like a dirt gap opener. I guess I should have looked up and seen what was all in the first issue, but I just remember it was
Yeah, I mean, you look at it now, if somebody was to watch it now, they'd be like, wow, this sucks. Like, but back then it was, you know.
So much like bro cam footage of just homies.
Yeah, there were definitely like filler articles, but some of the issues were great, like front to back.
Well, I mean, yeah, within the first few issues, you had like Scott Johnston and Eric Costin profiles, so they were like, I mean, who didn't want to, 4-in-1 part after that? They were off.
Yeah,
to the
my
races.
first one was issue 12. Like I got a later start than you guys. So I lived in Philly most of the time. So like I got my first board at Sub-Zero. So I got so like immediately like they kind of like you knew like, oh, you know, Rick, Matt, Serge, Freddie, like those were the guys, you know. So then I was living down the shore in Ocean City, like in Jersey, and there was this little tiny like hole in the wall skate shop called D's Skates, and Tony Montgomery worked there. So he sold me my first 411, and we were like the same age. So he was like 14 working in this skate shop. But yeah, it had Matt Reason's profiles in it. So it was like such a perfect, I'm like, oh, this is that guy that we're just talking about, and like trying to learn all that stuff.
Yeah, 4-in-1 did a really good job of like always having East Coast coverage in like every issue, right? Like the Metrospectives, the contests, like every kind of big East Coaster got their, you know, shine in 4-in-1s. That was pretty smart of them and ahead of their time as well.
I didn't even think of that, but it's true. Like East Coast was so small at that time, and there was always, you know, they did a good mix of everything. I remember there was like 1 or 2 episodes. I like, you know, the earlier, we'll say first 30, right? We'll say around there was like the prime peak, you know, and but I remember like maybe 1 or 2 episodes. There was one episode with Rodney Mullen in it that I remember I thought sucked, and that was like the only one out of that bunch. The Rodney Mullen profile, I remember was kind of like, this episode blew. But
I don't remember that one. Is it kind of like Day One versus Rodney era?
Oh, might have been
leftovers from the rounds 1 and 2.
I remember it exposed me to like a ton of music too that I like wasn't familiar with. Like, it always had like interesting new stuff.
Yeah, I think it was like the opposite of how music works now. Like they would get stuff ahead of time, and like the labels would leak early stuff to them because they wanted it in there. Whereas like now it's the complete opposite. Then nobody wants to give away free music. So I think they had. I think they ended up, you know, getting pretty strong relationships with record labels, and so they just get, all the advanced albums.
Like certain record labels, you always saw like their stuff like Jade Tree stuff was always in there.
Yeah, they would always credit the music like before the part started.
Yeah, which I thought was cool. Of all random things we were talking about today, like the Alcoholics, like it's such a random like
Chaos, right?
Rap
with,
like,
group that
yeah,
and then Jamiroquai Chaos section.
Yes.
Classic. Yeah, there's good music. A lot of Guru, Jazzmatazz.
Hey, that'll come up later.
Yeah. And then Scott Johnston and Jerron both had like these underground Bay Area rappers that like off like demo tapes. Because I remember searching for those songs forever, and then once the internet and message boards came around, it's like, oh yeah, that was like a Bay Area rap group that like recorded that demo in a studio, but didn't have enough money to like pay for the studio time or pay to get the thing dubbed, but you know it leaked to whatever, you know, Bay Area skaters and ended up in, you know, Scott's or Jerron's 4-in-1 part.
Do you want to get right into parts that we really liked?
Yeah, let's do our favorite. So we're gonna go through our favorite metrospectives, profiles, Wheels of Fortune, industry sections. Yeah, I think those are the kind of the 4 main ones. And then there's that one road trip that I liked a lot. It's a good one. Let's just we'll start with the kind of the marquee features like profile.
You don't want to start with switch stance?
Switch stance sections were usually good. It's funny looking back now because they were like some of them, the early ones, the entire part was all slow-mo, right?
Yeah.
Because it was like such groundbreaking tricks, and you watch it now and it's like a switch backside tail slide on like a knee-high ledge, and that was like
great. Steve, am I crazy? It's a Marvin Gaye song
that's with the Kalis one. That was
the Kalis one where he's skating those Bo Jacksons or whatever they are, and like
stick. That was
switch flip back tail in the mini ramp.
Yeah.
Oh, that's in a switch stance section?
Yeah.
When you start watching a 4-in-1 section on YouTube, all the related ones on the right are so good. Like I just found, I was watching Kalis's Wheels, and the Alien Industry section just came up, and then 4-in-1 Europe is right here. Let's go favorite profiles. Mitch, you want to start?
All right, so I went with Mark Johnson's profiles.
Yeah.
But I want to do the one from Best of 4.
Yep. Cheated.
You're watching Mark Johnson's profile for the best of issue 4.
Why? Because the song's better? It's a Promise Ring song?
Best of 4 is the best of all the best of. Best of 4 is top 3, 4, and 1, anything they did. I like that video.
And it's weird. I remember loving it, but going back and looking at it, there's some, like, questionable things. He's got, like, a fakey 50-50, fakey flip, and there's, like, a fakey 50-50, fakey tray flip.
I wonder if those were, like, you know, like leftovers or...
Yeah, it's just funny to see, like how did that make the cut for him, you
know?
He was doing, like, super tech stuff at that time.
Oh, yeah.
It's funny, like, his gear in that part is, like, a lot of it is stuff that you could see, like, it looks like he, you know, aside from not having hair, it could have went into, like, fully flared.
Yeah.
Like, his kid's just, like, plain t-shirt, plain, like, standard fitting pants. Like, he never kind of, like, deviated from that.
Yeah.
A-Team.
A-Team, yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, before this, he was, like, the Dickies and the white tee guy for, you know, Strictly.
Oh, yeah.
And then
this must be, like, the end of, like, him in footage with hair.
Yeah, yeah. Watching his last line. Yeah, I mean, he's always been good. He's, like, never not been good. Oh, here we go.
There's a crook coming up that's filmed tripod, and it's so weird.
So, like, when A-Team came out, because I remember it was always like, oh, this is like the worst world brand. It's like took over for Prime.
Yeah. It seemed very, like, forced and contrived, you know. When they did that A-Team challenge, was there, like, a nose manual nollie front?
Yeah, Cole did the nose manual nollie tray flip something.
So I know Gershon's was a weird, like, the 1 foot where he puts his foot, like, under the board. He basically, like, pogoed in midair, you know?
Yeah,
so
I don't know how.
And Chet Thomas's had to have been, like, a hard flip revert on, like, a bank or something.
Which I think it was some weird dude with, like, a ponytail won one of them. I remember that, like...
So then, did someone do, like...
Nobody did Dave Mayhew's. Kickflip, nose guard, nollie flip. Nobody did that.
No, I feel like that's one of the ones that Cole did.
Did he do it?
Yeah, I feel like the only one that one was the Gershon one. It was so weird.
Good one. All right, Steve, who's your favorite profile?
Clyde Singleton, episode 35.
Nice.
And I
watched that one this morning. It's good. Skate footage is so good. And I didn't remember how much talking is in it.
It's the talking is the best
part.
It's
like an interview.
Oh, yeah. It's Clyde. Of course it's talking.
Boom, I just got on the bus, went to Venice. Ended up going to Venice.
I mean, Clyde didn't have too many video parts in his career, so this is
his best part. I think this is his best part.
So is this like aesthetics era?
Yeah, because he talks about it in this.
Came back. We wanted to do something really cool. And that's when aesthetics came through.
Look at this artsy, like, Martin Scorsese angle of just his mouth.
So sick he could skate ramp, too. Like, he could do it all.
Oh, yeah, and looked great doing it.
Yeah.
It's the best. He was one of my favorites, man.
Damn, front blunt kickflip out. That was insane.
And slid it.
Yeah, he's a hauling ass. Yeah, there's the footage from fucking...
The trilogy. So he must not have had a lot, and they were just like, we got to pad this out.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Clyde's trilogy footage is great.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that Orange County spot.
23. 23 was so sick.
It was.
Yeah, we'll talk about 23 later.
That would be one that would be awesome, but way too hard to look up is, like, the best 4-in-1 commercials.
Stupid, pointless 4-in-1 commercials.
Oh, wig!
Oh my God.
The basics of skateboarding. The first step.
He throws rails.
Yeah, they're not small.
No slides
like
the shit out of that one.
The long Bricktown one.
Man.
Yeah, it's so insane. But yeah, 4-in-1 commercials are like there needs to be like a preserved archive of those. Like they're so good.
That's
they're
what we were
hilarious.
Joking about. We're like, did Josh charge people skateboards because he skated for them, or did they just get free ads all the time?
Josh was in every episode of 4-in-1 doing a back heel or a pop shot, or both. Is the Orange County, like if you're in that inner circle of like Jerry Fowler and the 4-in-1 employees and filmers, you were in like every issue.
Well, it was like Joey Pulsifer, like he was always in them, and there was like
because I think those dudes worked for companies that were related to them, so it's like
giant brands or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you work for a giant brand, or if you're just like a decent Orange County skater, you probably got a clip in a 411.
Blair, were you ever in a 411?
No, never had a skate clip in one. I was probably like in the background of like an ASR trade show article or something.
So what's your profile pic, Blair?
Mine is Costin's, but it's the best of because he's got the Guru song. Because if I went back and watched his profile, and it's like a mellow jazzy song, it's cool. But then in the best of, they got it's like Rick Howard and Tony Ferguson as like the detectives.
Yeah, they're looking for him in the parking lot or something, right?
Which is funny. And then the part starts, and it's like a great Guru song. And I mean, at this time, Costin was putting out a great part every year, so it's hard to say like where this sits. But I mean, it's great. It almost looks like it's like just him cruising, but he's got like lines at the courthouse that are like amazing.
I remember watching this, and I was like, "Why are these guys acting? I hate this." I remember that. Like, come on.
Yeah, especially because it's like bad acting. It's not even like it.
This is basically like a Canadian sketch comedy show right here.
Yeah, one girl could do no wrong.
Yeah. Rick just fucking eats shit. It's funny when I go to that girl party next week because when they dressed up all old for Mouse, right?
Yeah, it was.
So it's funny.
That was a Chocolate Tour.
Chocolate Tour. My bad. Yeah. So yeah.
Oh my god. This I was already like, what the hell?
Yeah, like, where is Costin?
Yeah, it's pretty. They went pretty long with the skit. Super.
Like, I think they go and like try and talk to like random people.
Yeah, here he is. Look at this guy.
Like, this guy looks as lost as they do.
Oh my
I
God.
feel like that guy has to be a plant though. Like nobody has that mustache.
Right? Like, where are they? Are they in Alabama right here, or Texas? Look at that lifted truck.
And he's just buying gallons of water.
He's getting ready. He's getting ready for the revolution. He's got guns. He's got a gun rack on the back of that thing.
Is Costin wearing Airwalks?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, it's probably pre-Zoltec.
I remember, like, no one else at this ledge is, like, right on Wilshire in Westwood, and I remember, like, driving by it, and it was like...
You know what's crazy is, I shouldn't say this, but the dog's probably dead now.
Well, this came out in 94, was issue...
Yeah,
was it
that dog was, like, 30.
94, 95, yeah.
Yeah. R.I.P. to Costin's dog.
I'll ask him what happened to his dog if he's at the girl party. How long did Henry live?
Dude, we skated with him when I was out there, and it's unbelievable how much he still got it.
Where were you guys skating?
Oh, man. I'm really bad with spot names. Some high school.
That's rad, though, that you saw him, like, in the wild skating.
Yeah, we just ran it. He was with Aunt Travis, and I know Aunt from out here.
Yeah.
So it was like, he didn't, like, you know, I think it, like, kind of put him at ease that, like, we knew the person that he was with.
Yeah. I went to,
like,
yeah.
Just him
This line right here is insane.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like how much of this was even planned, or is he's just cruising? He does switchback 5-0, and then just casual right here, switchback side. Oh. Dude, that's as good as it gets.
Damn, tray flip over the wall is crazy.
Yeah. Switch tray up those three. Yeah, I was at the barracks a couple years ago for, you know, Scott Mackey, the Converse rep. Mm-hmm. It was his, like, 40th birthday, and Eric was there with his kid, and Eric was, like, skating around, like, and, yeah, killing it.
So, after seeing this, did you ever go and try and light shoes on fire? Because I remember we tried that.
No. I couldn't afford to waste. I would skate them until they looked like they had been burned.
As we were like, find shoes.
Skate my shoes until there were holes in them.
Oh,
wow. Yeah, right?
This part still holds up, man. Those aren't the little tables either. Those are like the kind of like normal size ones. Better. This part is better than most of the kids who are going pro nowadays.
You got a lot of footage.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially for as long as that intro was.
Yeah, I don't know how much like added footage there is between like his profile and whatever, if it was in issue 2 or something, and then this came out after 4 issues, right? Because that would have been like a year. Then they did the best of, maybe. I'm guessing. So I don't know how much new footage there is between his profile.
Yeah, I think it's every
and
6 issues.
Okay, so that
Because there was 6 because it was every 2
bi-monthly,
months.
then every year, yeah. So yeah, that part still holds up, I think.
Wow.
I think, yeah, definitely. That was one of the more enjoyable Costin parts. I'm not a Costin fan.
It's great. He's kind of like just cruising, and it's got a good song, and there's some fun clips in there too. So that's very rewatchable.
So do we want to do industry sections next?
Sure. Yeah. What do you got for industry?
I went workshop.
Yep.
41130.
Yeah.
I was cracking up because at the end it says the hour is near, and it came out in '98, and photosynthesis didn't come out till 2000.
2000. Yeah.
And like half the team changes. Like John Drake, Scott Conklin, and Mike Hayes are all in this, and they're definitely not in photosynthesis.
Wow, Mr. Dibbs is in the Alien. Or is in
Yeah, this might be the first Mr. Dibbs.
Yeah, I totally forgot.
Usage.
Well, first Mr. Dibbs, the little hillbilly kid had a part. And my girlfriend, something, Kathy May or something. Oh shit, he was from Cincinnati. He rode for Nation.
I got nothing.
He had Mr. Dibbs. Oh God, this is gonna bother me now.
I'd like to thank my girl Wendy May, my boys Rob and Brian and Joe Castrucci.
I know Steve hated them, but I love those EXP boards. The ones that were like colored on the sides.
Yeah,
and I
don't know
hate
if
dipped
ever
boards.
I probably had one. There's so many like alien riders in San Diego, and that would like leave their boards at Pacific Drive and stuff. Got passed around.
Oh right, because all those dudes were out there.
The Alien House was in Pacific Beach, and then those dudes would always hang out at Pacific Drive, and yeah.
And this was the end of them,
Yeah.
right? They're in this, and that's the end of them.
So yeah, we were talking about 23. There's so much Dill and Abe 23 footage in here.
This is the best era of Dill. I think this
Yeah.
Fred
Right.
Dahl on Rex.
Yeah, this is all the
DCs.
Rex footage.
I think he had DCs on though, which is funny, but I think this is when he was on Rex.
Yeah, you know the story behind that, right? He was supposed to get on DC, but since he had a DUI, they had to wait for that to clear before they put him on. And then like Rex came in with an offer and he took it instead of waiting.
To Deerdick Park. Man. Switch 5 180. The Deerdick Philly stuff.
I was there when he's at Pyramid Ledges in this. We were there. And it
Oh,
was
really?
so wild. Like, it's Rob Dyrdek. And he took him like maybe 15 minutes to do the Nollie Front Nose Slide.
Kalis is supposedly filming like a commentary for TransWorld on his Sixth Sense part, so
Oh, that'd be cool.
we'll see. Yeah, hopefully it happens.
Laser Heels.
Oh, yeah,
The
this
originator
dude
of the
did
Laser
them,
Heel.
Oh, this is downtown San Diego. We used to skate these little
So-
bumps.
I remember Papalardo told me a story about this dude. So when they got rid of all these guys, like he heard like the dude's mom, Mike Hayes, whatever, called Workshop like trying to get them to keep him on.
Like Greg Lutzka with Crooked. John Drake was sick. Wow,
Scott
Scott
Conklin,
Conklin in here. I forgot he's in there.
Yeah.
He's got a Philly clip too. I was like, I had no idea that dude was ever here. Like, usually when everybody came to town like that, you'd hear about it. But he backlip shoves that table.
So random. Like if you even thought like yes, Scott Conklin.
Oh, there's the
was on
syntax,
Workshop.
Steve.
Sick. Someone got real pissed about those. I had someone like, I'm never listening to your podcast again. You didn't show
Why?
the syntax.
Because of the syntax. The DC
Yeah.
syntax.
I was like,
He's
yeah,
like,
shoe sucks. And he's like, you don't know what you're talking about.
Dude.
And Van Halen, this is like magical.
Ave has like 4 different shoe brands on in this
So much
part.
power.
Avon Actions is the best.
Yeah, he's got Actions, Vans, DCs.
He's old schools. Oh my God.
Yeah, just casually nollie flipping that bench.
Yeah. And then, like, yeah, the switch flip's like so easy. It's like an afterthought. Oh, and then Kalis.
This was like peak workshop, man. And it's like, too, because these are so short, you just want more. Like, this was like such a, oh my god, part.
Yeah, this is like a great like
So
promo,
good.
you know.
I can just think you're getting this for $9.99 every month. Like, there could, every 3 months, and you have something to look forward to like this.
Yeah, I was looking. So this part came out, then Sixth Sense came out, then Photosynthesis came out. So all within 2 years, he had all this footage, all that Sixth Sense footage, and the full Photosynthesis part.
You gotta love the work ethic. I always think that, like, skaters with a good work ethic, I'm just like all about.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean that's been Kalis' whole career, right? Just a skate rat, you know. Like there's no other angle to him. He's just a skate rat.
That's why he's still around today, skating.
Exactly.
Like this high impact rail gap skating where he's gonna explode his body. Like, there's a longevity to that.
Yeah. So that whole section is kind of like their promo for Photosynthesis, huh? What was your industry pick, Steve?
Oh, fit industry section.
Oh, yeah.
4-1-26. This was the best. I don't know. I think this is my favorite 4-1 section ever.
Nice. Is that Maurice Key fighting at the banks?
Yeah, it looked like. I think it is.
Henry and Stephen Callis.
The best brand nobody's heard of.
Kelch. Oh, Mike Graham. What happened to this guy? Anyone know?
After Fit, that was it.
Crazy.
It was weird. He was on Instagram a little, like, during the pandemic and skating some quarter pipe in, like, a living room.
Oh, no way.
He skates like Welsh. He's like a regular-footed Welsh.
Mm-hmm. So sick. And this was, like, his best stuff, too. K-Swisses. So sick.
I mean, how long was Fit around? A couple years?
2 years, maybe?
2 years? Yeah.
Crazy.
They were a weird one because I remember the boards, for whatever reason, were all huge.
Stevie.
So this would have been after Element, before Chocolate, I guess?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because he was on... Was it Fit, then Profile, or Profile, then Fit?
Oh, yeah, he was on Profile.
Profile and then Fit, I'm going to say.
Yeah.
So and this would have been after his, like, Sixth Sense kind of, like, comeback?
No, this is before.
Before.
Really?
Yeah, because he lost all these sponsors and moved home and like wasn't skating for a little bit, and that's when Josh got him back out.
Popped up in Sixth Sense. Wow.
Yeah. Maurice Key.
Trilogy, like, leftovers. That's so funny. There he is. There's Kelch.
Big dirt. I just saw him skating on Instagram, like, yesterday. Like, full Adidas tracksuit, skating like a curb.
That's awesome.
Yeah, like long hair, like long.
Hella cool.
Gray
Just
hair.
put more boards out.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's his company.
Wow. Henry Sanchez, like, this was...
That was sick.
I remember buying a Fitboard off Henry Sanchez at the pier.
No way.
It was like $30 bucks. Yeah. And the boards, that's when they just changed. They started using whatever girl was using. Because the boards were terrible. They were like super huge and concavey, and then they switched wood shops, and then they went under. And Pat Washington's part, so sick. The blank USA jersey.
Yeah,
so
I was
amazing.
gonna say that's the one you did his board after.
Yeah.
I forgot that the footage glitches.
Damn, some of the last footage of Embarcadero, huh?
Yeah, I can see somebody who's never seen this being like... But you know what's funny is that distribution, there's something, it says like C7 or something in France, but they're still around, which is pretty wild. And then, Blair, do you have an industry section?
Yeah. I mean, I had down Alien and Flip, kind of. I mean, those are both kind of like cop-outs because they're just like the go-tos, you know?
Peeps, do you guys eat those, and do you let them get stale first before you eat them? Is that a thing?
I don't think I've ever eaten one. They're like, yeah, they seem like non-edible. They seem like decorations. Like you don't eat it. You just
they'll last through the apocalypse.
Decorate your table with them, but you don't actually eat them.
If you ever do, the trick is you poke holes in the wrapper and leave them out for like a week, and they get stale, and then they're better.
Yeah.
It's so funny. This angle, Jeff looks like a meathead.
Little rollies. Jay was just telling me that Jeff Rowley and Heath were like, I don't know, beefing about a skate spot in his office when he worked at Birdhouse, and Rowley punched Heath in the face in his office, and Jay had to get up and like break it up. But I remember like Brian Sumner telling me, because you know he's from Liverpool with Rowley, he was saying it was really rough and like skaters would get beat up by just the drunks coming out of the pubs.
Yeah,
and he was like, dude, and he was like, Jeff was the smallest one out of all of us, so he got it the worst. But then I think that's what made him into a tough, hard ass.
Get ruins vert legs.
Yeah, right. Just Danish power.
Remember when Flip came over? Like they like changed the game.
Yeah, Rowley's TransWorld cover, 360 flip to Oceanside.
Oh yeah,
12 stair, 13 stair, whatever, and then Penny just in those 4-in-1s. Well, that would have been good. That Etnies Tom Penny commercial where he kick flips and frontside flips over the rail.
Yeah.
Dude, all the TSA ramp stuff, like that.
Yeah, his TSA video part. Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean Penny's. You know, a lot of Penny's stuff was all in 411.
Yeah.
Dude, there was dudes that had careers that was like you could be a 411 pro.
Yeah. Oh, here it is.
Oh, this is insane.
Yeah. Dude, we used to skate this school all the time, and like, I mean, by the time you go down 2 of them, like, I mean, you got to be like, and you see those cracks he's going past? Okay, to make that left turn, that's impossible. I don't know how he did that to this day. And then look at that kickflip is like 12 feet out, and then that line is so fucked. And then, yeah, that's just perfectly flawless.
And this is all film, right? It was all on film.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, that hallway line is just, since we like knew that spot and skated, we're like, he's going past the crack on every, you know, bump. Like,
is that the same hallway spot that Kalis and Lenny Kirk have that photo where they're both ollieing the bench?
No, that one's up in the Bay Area. That one's in Palo Alto, and that one actually has kickers. It goes down and then has like bumps that like Carol skated the table off of. Yeah, but no, the San Diego one, it just goes down, down, down. But like Wes Kremer and a bunch of guys ended up skating it later on in like in a Skate Mafia video. And see like the drinking fountain off to the left right there?
Didn't somebody gap out crook the ledge?
Which is insane. Like, there's an old like Color or Union video where Markovich like gap out and no slides it. And you're like, oh my God, that's crazy. Like no one ever thought of that.
Somebody gap out crooked it, right?
Yeah, and then like 10 years later, Wes front side nose slid it. And I think Marius back 5-0'd it, and then Slash back tailed it.
Oh, back tail. That's insane.
Yeah, but yeah, gapping out to that thing is nuts, and just bombing that thing is nuts. And then like you cannot
to make that turn,
that left turn. It makes no sense. Like by that point, you have to be like power sliding or dragging your foot. Like,
and he didn't even like slow down. Like
it's
nothing. Just like took
it's like I don't know how you wouldn't like 4-wheel slide out. It's crazy. And then you can see how much speed he still has when he does the kickflip in the back tail. You're like, yeah, that line's insane.
Yeah.
Mitch, who's your wheels? Oh, yeah, we talked about it before the show.
Everyone's favorite, 4-1-40, Chris Cole.
Oh my God, I'm not playing it.
I'm gonna make you watch it and enjoy it. Just because this was like the time when I was getting to know Cole, so it's funny to like see all the spots that are around where we live, and yeah, you might have to dub this line out. Dude, this backtail big flip, the Ezekiel gear.
I was gonna say, what a combo! Actions and Ezekiel.
Those are his only sponsors. It's pre-World and
now he's on World and Speed Demons.
Monkey
the Atlantic City Trade Show. Steve Eatontown.
God, this song sucks too.
I was saying we went and skated Whitehall Park back in the day when like he had just started. He got on zero and he like started to like evolve his fits, and all the kids there were roasting him and like, dude, what happened? You changed, and like singing the song to him and shit.
No way.
So funny.
And it's insane how good he is.
Exactly. I was gonna say, I feel like I see the potential that Jamie saw back then. You know, if I could just get my hands on this guy and tone down his gear, I'm gonna make him into a fucking star. I'll make him into a 2-time Sody.
Yeah, hucking down double sets. Dude, that tray flip. There's Kalis in the background.
Just fucking biting his lip, just gritting his teeth.
Yeah, switch frontside flip, manual kick flip.
So who Trey flipped it first off the ledge?
Oh shit, I don't know. Steve, that's the front of Baldy. That switch front heel.
Oh.
This high school was called, or middle school was called Rolling Hills, and it took us forever. As soon as like MapQuest came out, because we didn't live out that way, we were like, let's find Rolling Hills. We like printed out
print out the directions. Yeah, there's a Rolling Hills in San Diego we used to skate. That's funny. Who's your wheels, Steve?
Anthony Van Engelen, 4-1-25.
Ah, yes.
And this I remember.
The Tommy Hill, the swishy pants and the Tommy Hill shirt.
And I remember Brian Wenning brought this up to me a while ago. We were talking about something about flip tricks, or he's like, "You don't need flip tricks." Van Engelen didn't have any flip tricks in his Wheels of Fortune, and I was like, "Oh, look at that!" And it's like the coolest part.
Yeah, thank you, VHS Skate Tube.
Big props, VHS Skate Tube.
Dr. Octagon.
Man, straight up VHS rip like a high
This was the first time I ever really heard of him. I think he had like a Channel 1 ad or something once in like a TransWorld magazine, but
yeah, he had a check. I think the checkout is where he's got like his checkout's
shirt.
on that ledge. And it's like Tommy Hill shirt, swishy pants.
Yeah,
classic.
No flip tricks, and this is like so.
Man, that's steep.
Yeah, that's gnarly. Gotta haul ass. How's the hi-fi thing flickering on the screen?
We'll fix that.
Yeah,
it's got to be from whoever dubbed it, right? That's not on
yeah.
Like he always had the best tricks, and those Costin ones look so sick.
Yeah, it's a good colorway. I always remember when he switched front crook the whole ledge at Fairfax High, which is like tall and long. Yeah, you're just killing tables.
Yeah, back to straight.
Yeah, I feel like Wheels of Fortune's like 1 minute, you know? Just come in hard for a minute. I think the one, my pick is like a minute.
Blair, what is your pick?
I picked Duran from, I think it's issue 3. It's just short and sweet. I love the song. Like a little Duran ripping. I feel like it's like a lot of SF. I remember I thought he was from SF at first. I think he was on Reel for a minute and he had like an ad at Embarcadero and then, yeah. And I think this song bleeds into whoever had the next Wheels of Fortune. You know, they used to do that. Like one song would go across like 2 or 3 Wheels of Fortunes. What was that? Switch Inward Heel? So sick.
Because was he on Blind then?
Probably on...
no, this is with Girl, right? The Girl guys.
So just switched
over.
This
is when he was on Girl.
Yeah, he's on Blind. But I think he had a Reel ad, like, was maybe on Reel for like just a number of months. Because I think the first time I ever saw him in a mag was a Reel ad at Embarcadero, so I thought he was from SF. Yeah, short, but I don't know. I always remember that one just because it was a good song. And that issue has Scott Johnston's profile, so issue 3 is a great one.
Yeah, that was really good.
For all the listeners that want to go back and watch everything we've been talking about. It'll be a nice trip down memory lane of our own. This is our own best of 411.
Oh, we didn't do our metrospective.
Oh, wait, we got metrospective.
Okay. We left out metrospectives.
So, obviously, I'm going Philly metrospective. But from issue 13, not the best of one. Yeah, it was one was black and white, one was color, and it was different songs, and there was a couple different tricks.
Laird.
So I watched all of 411-13 today, and it might be my favorite 411 beginning to end. Aside from the weird Ben Harper music video in the beginning. It's got Harold Hunter's Rookies.
Forever wild from the cradle to the grave, kid, watch it back. One time's coming all ways. They locked me up for 12 days. I can't.
That Radlands contest where Penny's wearing the like green polo and the baggy khakis and like switch frontside flips the pyramid.
How the hell did I get it so soon?
That Shaft Wood road trip where it's got the Alcoholic song.
I'll evict you out the units while your niggas couldn't move me if you work for starving students down in Albeit Tight from St. Ives to Red Stripe.
Pulio's Wheels of Fortune.
What's up? My name is Bob. I'm from New Jersey. I like to skateboard in New York City. I like to listen to music or whatever.
A good switch stand section. Jeff Rowley's Rookies with the Special song. Like, it's got so much good shit. And then a weird Jason Ellis vert part right before the metrospective. Yeah, the metrospective's last, Steve.
Oh, this was the one where they say Vern Laird, and then he just gets served. Oh,
Laird. Vern just eating shit. Yeah.
This is sick. This is like Eastern Exposure. Like
Serge has a lot of tricks in this. I didn't realize how much stuff he had. Steve's favorite skater.
Notice they're not showing
Did
him
Wolf
push.
film this? Yeah.
Yeah, I love that it's all in black and white.
Look at the zoom in. Before strobe X. Zoom into the face, zoom into the feet.
Soaring wavy, I am the potato or juvenile flame. A single.
Talked to Jimmy today. That was the best ledge when he was on Puma. Dude, these Adidas, I think I talked about it on the other pod. I tried so hard to find those things after this thing. They just looked so cool. And like that's not when you could like go like randomly find whatever. But Stevie just made them look so cool.
You see the new ones they redid for that girl Métis who's on the team. Those purple ones, the super fat stripes.
Yeah, I'm good on that. Dude, feeble ground on a ledge is so hard to make cool. Oh, this backside ollie where you can see his whole board is just lined with Sub-Zero stickers top to bottom.
Seem like a wise guy with my New York lady.
Maldonado. This Federal Building line that's coming up. First off, that's gigantic. But this nollie flip in the Federal Building line.
So sick.
In a real shirt. So this is like pre-toy
Is that the
machine.
same spot where he ollied up onto the bench and over the wall in Welcome to Hell? Fucking epic. The mic'd up Ricky section.
Yeah.
So
man, dude, it's this line.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah.
The outtakes in Eastern Exposure 3 just make this so much better.
Roger Brown,
This line is ridiculous. It's like 20 tricks.
We're taking over now.
He literally skates the whole park. I remember him always talking about wanting to do a line where he started at City Hall and went over to Love and like went all through Love. But I can't even imagine.
He's not like he's just doing 50-50s.
Skateboarding in Philadelphia is pretty fun.
Yay, backtail.
Just clean fun.
I made it my mission to ollie down the 6 and then ollie up the 5.
That's what safety should be all about.
I have to do this. Everybody can do this. It's like a proving ground thing.
Hopefully, this should be the end of the match perspective.
So
this part where
what's
there's
at that
people
spot
sitting
now?
on the bench that he wants to end it on, so it just says flat ground.
So I hope you enjoyed this match perspective.
Blair, what do you got?
I went with another kind of cop-out, the New York City one.
Oh man, are all the retrospectives going to be East Coast?
This is a great one.
It is. It is. It seemed like that's kind of like what they, did, right? Because I don't remember any. I mean, like, how are you going to do like an LA retrospective?
Did they do Houston?
Like, yeah, I feel like Houston. You know,
They
I feel like
did
you can't do West Coast because everybody already had parts, and there's how do you do it on like SF, LA, or San Diego? There's too many people and companies and skaters. So it seemed like it worked out well for East Coast cities at this time. The little banks are still skatable.
Oh, I think that Tim put this one up. This must be Bob Shirt's version of it because he slow-moed the Scott Sutherland big spin.
The little banks are coming back either next year or in 25. I forget what the order is, but they're going to bring back the big banks and then the little banks.
See, and I remember like around this time, nobody skated the big banks. That was for, like the Hesh dudes. It was
No
all
way,
the
yeah. There's no reason to. The small banks. Did you guys ever skate the small banks?
Yeah, we used to go there probably from when I was like 14 on. We would go.
They were so perfect. You could do any flip trick on them. It was like so mellow.
Yeah, that
was
was our weekend.
Yeah.
And we'd all just say we used to go at like 7 in the morning so we wouldn't get robbed.
The Benihana.
Because like
I forgot about that.
I guess like it was like Philly. But yeah, it was like a different universe back then. Like the older skaters would take your board. So we're like, all right, if we skate from 7 till like noon, that's when they start coming in, and then we would go up to Midtown.
Yeah.
Like
I remember
skate up there.
Going to LA, and we wanted to skate Lockwood, and we went there like first thing in the morning. Skated Lockwood at like, not quite that early, but early enough that like.
Because I remember this too. So we would see this, and then it was like, because this stuff was like a big deal, and it was like, oh my god, you'd see these dudes in the city, and it was like, that was a guy in 4-1. So sick.
Yeah, one of the first times I ever went to the banks, Keith and Gino were there. I have photos of them. I had like a little camera with me, and so I was like poaching photos of Keith ollie the wall. Yeah, I still have them.
Different ball game, man. It's more about gigging. It's more about fun and friendship.
Tribeca.
Who's narrating this one?
Who's it? Dan Zimmerman. So I think he had something to do with Brooklyn Boards, which was a company. I'm pretty sure, but it was like wasn't somebody we were like aware of.
Industry starting to build. Getting a lot of coverage from the West Coast.
It was a different time, man. It was.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. Like, look at how different skating Midtown looked. There's nobody there.
Gino, that was at World Trade. Yeah.
Gino down at Battery. There were.
Chris Steins. He was my skate camp counselor. One of them
no way.
on a Long Island skate camp.
Steins. Yeah. That back tail.
I always liked Quinn.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. He photographed really well. He'd always have like his photos in the mags were always sick. Like
another one of those
high,
dudes.
Like,
Quinn was way better than him, but Tony Cox always had great photo. I hated his footage. I hated, but his photos were like insane.
Yeah, so contorted.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he could like. Yeah. Yeah, that TransWorld cover off the Barcelona wave thing was a wild one.
It's funny about Quinn because I remember trying to tell somebody too, like he was like the hot M, like he was like the dude for a little bit.
Oh, and like nonfiction came out.
Yeah, killed it.
Oh, yeah, nonfiction. Yep, definitely, man. All right.
Did you do your retrospective, Steve?
So I went with the DC retrospective.
Oh yeah, this will be a good one. I haven't seen this one in forever.
Wow, 4-1-27.
We got kids all over the world now, like who came from here and like they got DC in them. You'll know it.
Washington D.C. always had that unique fisheye that they seem to all use at Pulaski, like super vignette.
It's been a long time coming. And,
Andy Stone, so good. Ryan Tucci.
Washington.
Yep.
Tucci. I don't want to get in trouble. Capital skateboards were so sick.
So Capital still, that's what I was trying to put a timeline on. Like Capital still existed at this point.
Yeah. Andy Stone has a sweatshirt.
Yeah. It couldn't have been that much longer after this, though. Welfare Bank's still there.
Yeah, still skatable, huh?
That's pretty wild too. Like how many of these spots are still around?
Yeah, it seems like DC is like survived the times. Like they still got Pulaski. They're the last plaza, right? It's still like unchanged.
Yeah, but I saw Crush posted something about like some kind of renovations they're looking to do.
Oh, I mean, it's the last one. It's never been knobbed, never been changed. Like it's pretty special.
What you're witnessing.
In Tim's.
Amazing.
What you're witnessing.
Cool.
So weird one. So you have New York. Like I guess not the most popular guys, but who had the best skaters out of these three?
These retrospectives, or
like just in general, like you have these three cities, like
all
pretty crazy, right? Because you had Fred Gall, like from Philly, who was the best? Like does Kalis count? Because he's not from there, and then you have Stevie, who does. Like was Stevie better than?
Aside from Stevie, the majority of them aren't from here.
Yeah.
I mean, those guys, Josh and Stevie, weren't in that retrospective, were they?
Mm-hmm.
It was just like Ricky.
Stevie had a line.
Still living in.
Stevie had a line. Yeah, he did a.
Stevie had 2 or 3.
Yeah, it was basically the Eastern Exposure crew.
Yeah, I think that's when Josh wasn't allowed in Philly.
Yeah.
I feel like that's when he had that heat with Rick, and Rick was still kind of running.
Mullendorf.
I mean, I love that era of New York skating, kind of like Eastern Exposure, NYC section,
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I just love that fucking.
Yeah, it's just funny how different it all is. Like,
oh, yeah.
New York was like skating the banks and like they had like slappy stuff and a mix of everything. The Philly stuff was like all these pole jams and
yeah. Philly stuff is just like presented and filmed so well. I love the way Dan made it look. Like,
yeah,
that retrospective could have been a part in Eastern Exposure 3, and that like changed the game. How's that
Yeah,
spot?
Jimmy McDonald killed those things.
I've been to those little brick banks.
Yeah.
A couple people like launched them out to the street. Zared, I think, and someone else.
Evan Jenkins, Joe Vaughn. People I grew up skating with.
It's so crazy because there's no names.
Yeah.
Shops here.
That is weird.
Metro Boys Shop, Fairfax Surf Shop,
Intensity Skates.
Wave Dancer.
That was the dude that owned all the East Coast urethane stuff too. Wow, that was good.
I remember this is when Duff's had their East Coast team. I remember that. Like they had all these dudes on the East Coast, like around Duff's. Jeff Pang, and they were just like trying to dump the shoes out here in the East to. I don't think it worked.
Come through, check us out, be around, skateboarding, no doubt.
Sick.
That was
Cool.
good, man. I don't remember that one, but that was good. Yeah, if we were putting together a 411 issue, 2023, who would we want in it? Mitch, you want to go first?
Yeah. So profiles first.
Yeah. Profile, metrospective, wheels, and industry.
All right. Profile. I'm gonna go Tiago.
Ah, good one. I had him in mind.
Yeah. I mean, who doesn't want to see
Exactly.
Tiago footage? Industry section. Go with something random.
You only do sales for a company.
Yeah, I want to see Terror Planet X get a industry section, just so everybody sees how good those dudes are getting.
I mean, a small brand like Fit had one of the best ones ever. So,
Wheels of Fortune. We said Dylan Jabe.
oh yeah, that would
I
be.
want to
Good.
see a Dylan Jabe one. Need a good AM. Metrospective. Like, what's a city that's like? I'd love to see like a Chicago one.
Oh, that'd be good.
Like,
They didn't do
Chicago-
one of those. That's interesting.
Deep dish, basically.
Yeah, that's.
Chicago.
Yeah, but like
was-
seeing the
yeah.
stuff that's been coming out of there, like seeing all the Uprise dudes.
Yeah.
And, like,
But like throughout the 90s, like if you went to Chicago, like there's no reason why that wasn't a huge skate city like Philly or DC. It had, you know, it had all the makings, it had all the spots. It's a rad city. It always blew me away. Like, how come Chicago never kind of had its moment, you know?
And it's crazy because Kalis lived out there for a while, and he would say,
I
like,
remember.
nobody knows how good this place is.
Dude, he's right, yeah. It's like,
that was like that Kalis in Mono era, right?
Yeah, yeah.
He moved to Spain.
yeah, it was, yeah, it's crazy that Chicago never kind of had a blew up like Philly or something like that.
Blair, who do you got?
All right, well, profile, it was hard because kind of all my favorite pros kind of have put out parts in the last year. So I was thinking like Cyrus Bennett or Antonio, and they both already put out parts this year. But I guess imagining if they hadn't, you know, that's kind of who I would want to see a part from. Wheels of Fortune is super hard because, like I was saying, like everyone good is already pro. It's hard to think of like AMs. So I just was thinking of a couple guys from San Diego, Mark McCoy and James Gaynor. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. James skates for Tantrum, and he actually lives up in SF. And then Marky McCoy skates for Frog, and he still lives in San Diego. But if you look up footage of them, they're sick. Hopefully the footage that's out there kind of does them justice, but I've skated in person with them both, and they rip. So be stoked to see parts from them. Industry, I put down Sour, just because I think their videos are always great, and I think they would do something kind of funny and creative. In the metrospective, since I was in Germany in August and I went to Berlin and Hamburg, I put down Hamburg just because it was a really cool city that has tons of interesting skate spots. And our buddy Richie Loeffler has a shop there, and he's from there, so he's been there forever. So I think it'd be cool to see, you know, kind of like how those world reports back in the day would show you, like they'd get to some pretty random cities in those world reports. And it just kind of like that feeling of like, fuck, I'll probably never go there and never skate those spots, but they look crazy.
Steve, before you make your picks, let me just wipe mine out. I'm going to take my Wheels of Fortune back. I want to see a Brian O'Dwyer.
Oh, there you go.
Wheels of Fortune.
Yeah, he's like another great AM. Him and Dylan Jabe, they got to be like, their pro boards have to be like being pressed right now. Because no one stays AM for long these days. All right, Steve, what's your 2023 411 lineup?
All right, so we'll start with a profile, Ross Norman.
Yes.
That I would be super hyped to see. That would be so sick. Wheels of Fortune, Justin Jahuviak. He's amp for Scumco.
Okay.
He's sick. He's from Buffalo. He's like the best skateboarder. He's like lab created. I think Buffalo has like that thing with those lab created skaters. But yeah, he's amazing. And then what else we got? Metrospective. Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Ooh, okay.
Get some Herb footage on there.
Yes, get Herb out there.
Yeah, totally. Herb and Scoggins. They have so much stuff there. I mean, I'm not a...
No, I've always heard from everyone that like it's either from the South or like toured through the South. They all speak highly of Chattanooga.
Yeah, they have tons of spots. And then for the industry, I did sci-fi fantasy.
Ah, interesting.
Oh yeah, Aaron's part came out today.
Yeah.
So I think
could have lived without the double flips, but
do you have your fingers crossed for a Jerry part in that industry section?
Double cross. You know what's crazy too with him is like he was like the worst from his 4-in-1 like parts. Granted, he was like 14. Oh yeah, it was so bad, and then he became like the best skater.
Oh man, we would get some Matt Militano footage of that sci-fi fantasy.
Is he on sci-fi?
Yeah.
Should we wrap this up?
Yeah, I think we can do that.
All right. Well, thanks for listening. Second episode. Thanks for all the positive maybe I shouldn't say that and jinx it. But I was surprised at the overwhelmingly positive feedback after the first episode. So you're going to make us keep recording these if you keep giving us positive feedback. Yeah, there's 4-in-1 merch if you want to rock 4-in-1 merch, and there's videos out there on YouTube if you want to go back and rewatch the ones we just talked about. See what skating was like in the last 30 years. It's pretty crazy. That's it for me. You guys have any closing remarks?
No.